boop, 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 boop. Hey guys, how's it going? I am still in Cancun, and it's lovely. I got done with my retreat on Tuesday, and time is weird because it doesn't actually exist in YouTube land. So, but yeah, for the last probably 3 days or so, I've been hanging out at a beach resort, healing and just relaxing, processing what happened at this retreat. And yeah, so I figured I'd fill you in, maybe? I don't know where this is gonna go. Just like all of my videos, I never know where this is gonna go. But my intent for this video is, I think, to start feeling more authentic and genuine. I feel like I've been falling off of the YouTube route because there's something about it that doesn't feel right. And I don't know what that is. But I think it's this sense of not feeling, it's like, I feel like I talk so much. Sorry, rearranging. I feel like I talk so much that I'm not actually feeling anything. I'm just logicking a lot of my experiences. And I want to start, feeling this. And I want this to feel like a passion project. I don't want this to feel like something I have to do. And I think that's a difficult concept for me because I don't know what I want and I don't know what I want to do. And so I think this retreat really helped to show me a lot about myself. And I think it's going to continue to show me more and more as I continue to process what happened. But again, I'm looking for passion in my life. I'm looking for this fulfillment. I'm looking for just that spark, the joy in all of this. And hey, we're gonna keep trying. We're gonna keep doing until we find what that looks like. And maybe it's not this, and that's kind of scary too. I put so much work into it, and maybe it's not this, or maybe it is, and it's just not the way that I thought it was going to look. So bear with me as we continue to grow together. But anyway, here I am, Cancun. The water actually is that weirdly blue. And the beaches are white. And they actually do burn you even if you're sitting underneath an umbrella. So just beware. White girls beware, because already my chest is burned. But yeah, like, it's beautiful, it's wonderful, it's amazing, it's so relaxing. It's learning how to relax too, because my mind wants to tell me, like, hey, we've been sitting in the same spot for a couple hours now. Let's go do something. I'm sure there's something I can go rearrange, or somebody I can text or email or something. And yeah, there's a lot of just relaxing and dropping into myself, which is kind of new for me. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for what's next. I'm excited to see where this all goes. I'm excited to, get to know myself through this medium. I want, like I said, to feel passionate about something. And I want you guys to discover that with me, because right now what feels most passionate, most alive within me is this sense of self-discovery, is this going in and doing the deep work for myself and finding out things that I didn't know existed, in both a wonderful and beautiful sense, which it's all wonderful and beautiful, but sometimes they're difficult and sometimes they're uncomfortable. But it's, this idea of self-discovery is what I've been most passionate about in the last few years. And I feel like being able to travel has really brought forth a lot of, self-discovery. All of these patterns that have been hidden inside of me that now, traveling around Mexico currently, have really, I don't know, brought out. So, I think I've delayed enough. I went to an ayahuasca retreat last week, and it was, I feel like I could cry right now. It was the hardest thing that I have probably ever done in my life. And I've done a lot of hard stuff, or at least I thought I have, between becoming a physician assistant, which I at that time thought was the hardest thing, and then going through a really painful divorce, which at that time, laying on the ground, just crying for days at a time, I thought that was the hardest thing. And this took the cake. And I don't know, it was a 7-day retreat, but 3 days of substance. And I'm shaking just thinking about it. There's a lot in there. The first day really showed me how much control my mind has. And I pretty much knew that going in. I just didn't know how it was going to show me. And through that means, it felt very scary, to try to relinquish control to this substance felt very difficult and very scary. And I remember a couple of times just, sailing in the ethers, I call it, and just my mind would panic and want reality, and I would grab the ground. You can't see my hands, but I'd grab the ground, and I'd be like, I need something real. I need something real. And my mind couldn't relinquish. It couldn't let go. It couldn't, it was just too scared. And, I left that first night just curled up in a ball, rocking myself and crying, and just because I was so scared, and I kept saying, I just want to go back home. I just want to go back home. And it was a lot. And the second night, a lot of my mind told me my first night wasn't great because, one, I was fearful, and all these people had such beautiful experiences where they got to talk to their ancestors and got to, move through a lot of things. And me, I just sat and curled up in a ball and was scared and couldn't let myself go. The second night I go into it with this intent of well, F this, I'm going to beat my mind into submission. And I went in for big doses of substances, and it actually did the opposite. It made me more fearful, and I purged. Ayahuasca is something that, if there's any blocks, it'll help you to move them. And I purged a lot that night. It was exhaustive. I got to a point where I couldn't even walk anymore. I couldn't even get myself to the bathroom anymore. And it was not the night that I really wanted. I was very defeated after that, and I didn't know how I could possibly do another night. They're not back to back, by the way. It's every other. But the third day started off with a substance called bufo. And if you know anything about substances, and even if you don't, I'm going to tell you anyway. And I'm going to get the numbers wrong. However, ayahuasca is what's called DMT. And DMT, so the amount of DMT that is in ayahuasca is a small percentage, 0.00003. I'm making it up, but a very small percentage of DMT. And bufo is 5% DMT. So it is a very powerful substance, and you can't not surrender. So you have to surrender. And when I didn't know if I could do it, going in, and Bufo saved my life. It really did, because I went in with this intention of, I want to surrender, and I want to, like, I don't want to fight anymore. Like with ayahuasca, I had been fighting, and I don't want to fight anymore. I don't want my mind to feel scared. I don't want all of these things. I just want to surrender. I want to be held. I'm asking for help. And that was something else that I was shown within the first 2 days, is like, I don't know how to ask for help. I will just sit there and suffer instead of asking for help. And so my intention into Bufo was, I'm asking for help. I'm begging for help. Please help me to surrender. And I did. And I could feel myself. I know this is, for anybody that has taken Bufo before, you know, for the most part, you don't remember a lot of things, or if anything. But I remember fighting. It was like, I almost felt like I wanted to purge or to vomit. And instead, I finally relinquished. I finally released, and my heart opened up, and I just cried and cried and cried. And I woke up and I was crying. It's like a 20-minute long experience, and even though time doesn't exist when you're out in that world, but I just woke up and I was crying such beautiful tears, because finally, for once in my life, I could feel my heart. I could feel my heart, and it was beautiful. And so I kind of immediately afterward started getting back into my head of like, what does this all mean? And, you know, like, am I cured? Am I not? But like, it was already going back up here instead of connecting with my heart. And I went into that third night of ayahuasca knowing that I'm capable of releasing my mind and also tapping into my heart. So my third night's intention was peace and ease was the biggest one, and tapping into my heart again. And I went in taking smaller doses and listening to my body, even though my mind was saying to me, like, we could be doing so much more. Everybody else around you is processing all these big things, and you're just sitting here pretty present. And I was very much grounded. Like, I could tell I was on substance, but I was looking around, and I'm able to like realize I'm in the room, and you know, I'm be very present with myself. And when I would get up to go like use the bathroom or something, I just felt like a wet noodle. I just felt so weak and so tired, and my mind kept telling me like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want out. And somebody that was outside of the pavilion that we were doing the ceremony in saw me all just like walking like you know, and she stopped me, she grabbed me, and she was like, I want you to feel your feet on the ground. And I couldn't even comprehend that. And finally I was like, I looked down at my feet, and I was just like trying to feel my feet. And then there was a tree next to me, so I'll use this tree here, even though it's behind me. But she's like, and I want you to grab this tree, and I want you to just feel its support. And I just like laid up against it, and I was holding it, and I could actually feel it. And I know that might sound crazy, but I could. And like, just like that, I went from being like a wet noodle to like very much present and like connected, and my heart was opening, and I was just like looking around, just like realizing the beauty that surrounds me, and looking up at even though I couldn't really see anything, I was in the jungle, but it was like you can kind of see stars through the tops of the trees, and just realizing how connected I actually was. And it was beautiful. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity to have done that. Hi, Michelle. And I don't know, the rest of the night went pretty well. I felt the urge to want to purge, and I fought it. And I think it would have been so much easier to just purge, but I fought it because I did not want to anymore. And my mind was telling me, like, if I purge, I was defeated again, and I have to just give up. And But it was like recognizing the stories that my mind gives me and recognizing how my mind sounds. And like when that negative voice comes up of like, you can't do this, or you don't want to do this, or this is impossible, or all of these things, recognizing that that is just a story that my mind is creating to keep me small, keep me defeated. And yeah, I think I'm going to stop it there. Maybe I'll go into it again. I kind of want to give you guys a synopsis. I have been on and off doing substance for the last 3 years. Where are we? We're in March of 2025. Yeah, I think it was 2022 when, March of 2022. Oh my God, exactly 3 years ago, when I started doing different substances. Really, I was curious about finding, honestly, my intent was not to find myself when I started. It was, as a physician assistant, it was curious about the benefits that this could bring so many people. And I was just like, really, I got into it with this curiosity for ayahuasca, but I fell into other substances first because let's just say they're easier to come by in California, and but they were all beautiful, wonderful experiences, all showing me the same thing, that I'm very much mind oriented. But yeah, I'm just I could cry right now. It was a very difficult experience, but I would say that although it's so hard, and of all of the beautiful experiences that I've had in my life with different substances, different psychedelic substances, and just different, even if they're not psychedelic, it's like I would highly recommend all of those, because I feel everybody could benefit from those experiences and really getting to know themselves on that deeper level. But ayahuasca is something that you really, really, really have to be called for, because I was called and I didn't know why. And halfway through, after the first night, I got up that morning and I was ready to scale the wall, because it was like an enclosed retreat. And I'm like, I'm a rock climber. I can definitely climb that wall and get myself out of here. And then I will figure out a way to get a taxi and get my ass back to the airport. But that was my mind that was scared, and I totally understand why. But it also didn't want me to connect with other people and tell other people that I'm going through this, because that's weak. It's weak to feel afraid, and it's weak to, and none of this is true, by the way, but this is what my mind was telling me. It's like, nobody's gonna fucking understand. And here I am, like, curled up in a ball that night, and nobody's gonna understand me. And I'm so glad that I opened up, and that I talked to people, and that I stayed, and I made it through those 3 ceremonies. And because I feel like my mind wants to tell me I didn't have the experience that I set out to have. I wanted this mystical, magical experience of, talking to my ancestors, or talking to my spirit guides, or connecting with psychic powers, or who knows what, connecting with past lives, and all of the powers that I had in them. And maybe one day I will. And I'm excited for those, by the way. It'll be fun. But I had probably one of the most magical experiences of all, and that's connecting with myself and feeling, even for a split second, that I'm connected to the universe, and I'm connected to everybody and everything. And I know some of you are probably listening to this going, what the fuck is she saying? And why can't we get back to doing car life videos? Because those were so much fun. And they were. And we're going to figure out what life looks like now, because I'm still fun. But there's a lot of things that I'm uncovering about myself. And I don't know where all that was going. But I know I was talking about the substances that I used to do. And ayahuasca is the toughest one by far. And if you have any curiosity, I just want you to know it's tough. It is not an easy thing. And, but I think it is the medicine for me. I never thought I'd hear myself say that, because after the time that I had, I'm still processing, and I still wake up in the middle of the night still thinking I'm in the journey, and like kind of panicking and like, am I gonna purge, and then realizing, okay, I am here right now. And it's going to be an interesting integration for the next couple of weeks, and I'll keep you updated as to how that integration is going, and maybe that'll be some of my videos. It's like what has happened since. But I'm excited for it, because now I can feel my heart, and when I get really present, I can still just feel that thread of connection, which I'm now building. So, 20 minutes, I think that's ample. Thank you all for listening. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything else that starts with a C, or any other letter of the alphabet, let me know. Because I would love to talk to you about this and make more videos about this, because I am not ashamed. I'm not ashamed. And there is a lot of stuff in all of us. And if you're ready to do the deep dive, you can do it without substance. But substance really helps to show you the things that are ready to be released, and the things you don't have to hold on to anymore. And I'm ready. I'm so ready. So anyway, all right, me and Michelle, we're gonna chill out some more. I'll talk to you later. Check out my new Sunjees. I like them. They definitely overcharged me here at the resort, but that's what you get when you're in Cancun. All right.